What's happening, boys and girls? How the devil are we? Shanksy here, and welcome to my roster reviews, where we review yours, well, maybe not yours, but somebody's roster who's got in touch with me about it, and we check out everything they're working towards, all of their characters, all of their teams, and see if there's anything I would do differently. Now, keep in mind, guys and girls, you are a huge part of these roster reviews as well, because I really look forward to reading your comments at the end of all of them and see what you would do differently as well if you were to take over the roster we're about to look at right now. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Yo, what's happening, boys and girls? How the devil are we? Shanksy here, and today's roster, we are going to be checking out a very good friend of mine, a member of my community since day dot, Mr. Agzarah, the absolute legend. He's been playing Marvel Strike Force for about 108 days, and in that time, he spent about £150 on it, which is about $150 according to Foxnet and their conversion rate. Don't get me started. This would be a far cheaper game if they actually done some serious conversion. Anyway, and a lot of the offers that he has bought has been those big 100 shard packs for 5 characters. You know, the 180 shards like the X-Men, that type of deal that has helped progress his roster quite far along. Now, he's just approaching that 1 million collection power. You know, at that stage of the game with everything that's going on at the moment, I feel like he's spreading himself too thin and trying to work on this, that, and a little bit of everything, right? So, community, I need your help right now as we go through this roster and work out what you would be working on. And think back, if you were to start the game, not from scratch by any means, but, you know, like just coming into the early mid-game, what would you be focusing on? And what characters would you be looking to get up? I'll have my opinions, you'll have yours, and hopefully together we can help Agzarah out. Right, so, in that 108 days, he has amassed a total collection power of 950,000. His strongest team power is this team here to the right, which is pretty much his team for everything. Arena offense, defense, raid, you name it, this is where he uses it, right? He's got 123 characters collected. He's been War MVP twice for that gold 3 Stan Lee's minions. Shout out to them. All-time arena rank is rank 28, and his latest arena rank is rank 51. Now, he says he can normally finish in the top 50, wakes up in the top 90, pushes back down, gets the rewards for top 50, then wakes up and rinse and repeats. And obviously, with improving this a little bit, I think we might be able to do miles better in that arena, depending on what we're working with, though. Depending on what we're working with. But especially for an early arena shard, this is an alright team. I'm not a massive fan of any one of these characters apart from Hela in arena, but at this stage, this will actually wreck a lot of faces. Like, a lot of faces. Right. So, some problems that we're running into in the account is running out of tier 2s. You know, so getting, like, doing U7, but not getting any of the blue ability mats and things like that is going to be a bit of a problem. Blitzing, obviously, as much as you want to blitz at this stage of the game with this total collection power, it's going to be very, 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 very difficult to make a dent into blitz anymore. Blitz has become its own little animal, and it just seems to be getting harder and harder. But let's get into this roster and see what we're working with. Right, so top of the shop, we got Sif there. We got Loki. So basically working on that Asgardian team, trying to strengthen that Asgardian team up a little bit. X-23's in there as well. Shield Troopers favorited. Not really one of the Shield people that I would want to be working on if I were you, to be honest. He's great. He's really easy to gear tier 14. But other than that, he doesn't bring a lot of uses, in my opinion. Not one of the characters that I would be favouring. Not one of the characters I'd be putting a lot of time into. Hawkeye, really solid character, but to be fair, doesn't really have a home either. So let's keep an eye on this. Mr. Sinister, absolutely phenomenal. Shield Security, absolutely great. Squirrel Girl, she looks all right. She looks all right, and I'm guessing that Nobu there is for Hand and Phoenix. So definitely working towards Phoenix is a really smart move. Right, then we got Captain Marvel there at level 67, 39k. So out of all the favourites, I understand these three. I don't get these two. I understand these two, and I'm a little bit sensitive about Squirrel Girl, but it depends what we're working with, right? So moving on down, we've got that Hela, 4 red stars on Hela. That would be my main aim, probably at this point, would be to make sure I can get to her node and to farm Hela like mad. And get that 4th star on her at least, you know, get that red star counting, and that's going to help out every single one of your teams. And that's going to help out every single one of your teams far into the end game, you know, where working on like shield security is not going to help with much at all. Thor there at 34. We've got Minerva at 31. 3 red stars on Minerva. Rocket Raccoon there at 25. Might be worth bringing Groot up a little bit to work with Rocket. Keep him alive for that. Deadpool got X23 favorited as well. Iron Fist, solid. And you know what? A lot of people still don't rate the defenders, but the defenders are solid, especially in the early time, to help get some of them early challenges done as well. There are other teams, obviously, like Guardians, for example, would probably be a better farm. The Punisher there at 16, Daredevil there at 12, Domino there at 12. We've got Sinister 6 all around that type of 12 mark. I feel like I'm missing one, though. I am missing one. I can't think of who I'm missing. I've got Shocker, I've got Green Goblin, I've got Vulture, I've got Rhino, Mysterio I'm missing, don't know where he is. Domino there at 12, Elektra there at 11, Mantis there. And I think this is what we're just going to see, right? The roster drop off very, very quickly. Negasonic there at 11, Rescue there at 10. Cable, I tell you what, 5 red stars on Cable. With all of the rest of the X-Force, that could be a real huge team. Like a huge team for you. Yeah, I'll definitely be keeping an eye on that. Gamora there at 9. 5 Drax. Shield Medic as well. Okay, moving on. And I'm not going through every single character. I'll tell you what, this is where it's at, baby. This is where it's at, baby. Let's get working on them symbiotes, man. Let's get working on them symbiotes. They're going to help you out in challenges. They're going to help you out in war. They're going to help you out in arena. They're going to help you out in Dark Dimension. They're going to help you out in war. And so I've already said that, but that's how much they're going to help you out. And they're going to help you out in all your raid nodes as well. Let's start keeping a little eye on this symbiotes. Symbiote Spider-Man at this point in time would probably be a top priority for me. With him and Hela, they're crazy. They're just crazy, right? He's an absolute superstar. 3 red stars on him. Already got the unlock. Let's get that level up. Let's get some gear into him. There is never a time that you're going to invest in Symbiote Spider-Man and go, oh, man, shouldn't have done that. Right, Ironheart and Sorcerers. Miss Marvel. Wow. 6 red stars there on Miss Marvel. That could be a beefy Brawlers team. I know you're talking about only the Asgardians doing work for you at the moment in War Defense. Getting that Miss Marvel up there with your Captain Marvel, dear oh dear oh dear. That'll put in some work for you. Right, then we move down. Got Taskmaster there as well. Again, probably the second best defense team in the game right now is the Mercenaries, and they don't need to be a crazy high level either. For war purposes, could be a really good focus. But we're starting to focus on a little bit of everything, right? We've got to stay clear. So at this point in time, symbiotes, from what I'm seeing right now, symbiotes, Venom, we got 4 red stars. We've got 3 red stars on Symbiote Spider-Man. We got Carnage there. 1 red star, but 3 star. Those are my 3. You put them 3 together with like Hela or anything like that. One, it's going to do miles better than the Heimdall Heimdall combination that you've got going on. Heimdall Thor combination. That, like, Carnage and Symbiote Spider-Man are going to start wrecking some faces. They are absolutely amazing. And again, Carnage is one of them characters that just deserves to be boosted up there. So symbiotes at this point in time would be my big thing as well. And the reason for that is they're going to help you with the gold challenges as well. So instead of defenders now, you can really go Spider-Verse, get those challenges done for the gold, which is gold is super important, right? And yeah, I think Carnage is the way forward, baby. Right, moving on down, we've got Yo-Yo, one of my favourite characters in the game. Scientist Supreme is a character that is going to help you out tremendously in U7. I know you're struggling in U7, only managing to get through one node or something like that. Scientist Supreme is going to help you out massively. She's a very, very big character. So we're trying to pick out core characters rather than core teams at this point. Like, so for example, if I was trying to make a team for U7 right now with the characters that you've got, who would I be using? And you know what? I'm actually using a fairly similar team at the moment in the guise of Symbiote Spider-Man, Carnage, Hela, Minerva, and Scientist Supreme. That actually works super well and allows me to clear the whole wave of at least difficulty 1. So I'll definitely be focusing on those characters. Because the trouble is, yeah, the depth of the roster at this size, it's just not there. I wouldn't even be worrying about getting certain guys up to like level 20s, level 30s. It's not a big deal right now. You know, they go from 100 power to 1600 power. Does it look better on the overall collection power? It probably does, but it doesn't really stop anyone in war. It doesn't really stop, it doesn't help out towards anything. It's like negative equity right now, right? Where focusing on those key characters, spending all your resources on those key characters are going to help you out much more going forward. Some good red stars here on like Ghost Rider as well, Coulson, Thanos, Carl, all got red stars waiting to go on them. So I think what my focus would be is let's get through to the Hela node without a shadow of a doubt. Let's work on Symbiote Spider-Man. Let's work on Carnage. Let's work on Venom. And let's then work on other people that's going to help you out in Raid, like in the U7s and stuff like that. And they're going to be characters like Yo-Yo, like Scientist Supreme, like Minerva. And all of a sudden, off the back of that, you're going to have a very strong arena team out of the characters that you can mix around with that. And by all means, you know, Captain Marvel, still keep working on without a shadow of doubt, because she's going to help out that whole arena team. But the symbiotes at this point in time, for your roster, would be my main focus. They would be my main focus, but then I would have a backup focus of what is my next legendary that I'm working towards. So when I first started playing, I was like, right, I really want to get Shield Fury, right? I really want to get Shield Fury. They looked amazing. They were the best team in the game by a long way. So I was always working on the Kree team as a backup to get that legendary. But then I was working on, I can't remember, I think I was working on Defenders. So I was working on like 2 teams simultaneously. Not taking them crazy high gear-wise or anything like that, but getting the shards in them, getting them slowly worked up. And I think that's what you need to do, is go symbiotes as your main team, and then, right, what legendary am I working towards? That, I think, is going to help out absolutely massively. But let's have a little look at the save squads. Right then, looking at the save squads, and this is our team for everything. I feel like Heimdall needs to be replaced as soon as possible. I don't mind the other characters as much, but unfortunately, Heimdall, in my opinion, is probably like the 6th best Asgardian, with Greg being the 5th. So Heimdall, for me, actually falls 1 below Greg for terms of like usability and stuff like that. So he would be the one that I would be looking to replace as soon as possible. And possibly with that Symbiote Spider-Man, with then getting Carnage up and replacing Carnage over here for Thor. All of a sudden, this team, I think, has got a lot more viability, a lot more survivability, without just purely relying on Minerva there as well. Then it's a massive jump, like a massive jump. And unfortunately, truth be told, this is why the blitz rotations are going to be harder. You're going to, for a blitz rotation, you're going to have to work out save squads of just using everybody, right? Of just using everybody. But it's going to be very, very difficult. At this point in time, like back in the day, like 2-3 million used to guarantee you a top 1 to 2%. Now it doesn't. Now it doesn't. It's just the milestones for blitz have got a little bit out of control for a normal rosters. You know, they've got crazy. So I would almost like to see the blitz shards split up a little bit. And yeah, it's going to be very difficult, right? So we're going to have to make use of absolutely everyone. And getting these teams together, even though they're not crazy big power, but getting these synergy teams together is definitely the right move, right? So just try and use absolutely everyone. Getting Star-Lord on the next go-round will be huge for this team, without a shadow of a doubt. Going to really, really help out that Guardians team. He's type of the glue that starts to make them work. Now, this is a really interesting team for me. They're not farmable, for one, which is a bit of a shame, but they are crazy strong. War offense, good for a lot of the alpha raids and stuff like that. They are a crazy strong team. And definitely someone that I would look at gearing up. And I would look at gearing these guys up over Defenders, over Guardians, over Sinister Six at this point in time. The only reason that because normally the way that you go for Guardians is it's going to help your Cosmic campaign. You don't need that because you've got your Asgardians instead of the Guardians. So this team would actually work out far better to work on than anyone else at this point in time. Plus, they're a team that's stronger than most teams with a legendary without a legendary. Something worth keeping in mind, right? Sinister Six unlocks 2 legendaries, always worth keeping on the back burner. This team's all right. I wouldn't really do much with this until I can get through to Fury, until I can get through to Coulson. I wouldn't really mess around with this team too much. Keep it there, obviously, for Blitz and whatnot, but that's about it. Then we go to Power Armor, and again, I feel like Power Armor is one of my favourite teams, but symbiotes are going to take priority over pretty much anything that I'm going to see right now. Absolutely anything. Then we go down to Hydra as well. Nothing wrong with that. Hydra really come together when they get Red Skull. There's just certain bits that you can't do anything with, right? Then obviously the Marauders team. Marauders team, spicy as you like right now. Need Emma Frost to become stupidly good. But this is a team that you could definitely keep an eye on for war defense. But you also want a nice little bit of offense. And things like the X-Force are going to bring that. Things like the X-Men team are going to bring that. Things like the Wakandans are going to bring that. Plus, this is where it gets a little bit more confusing, is you want to be thinking about what events we're working towards as well. And the Wakandan event for the Red Stars isn't a bad thing. But now I feel like I'm probably just giving you far too much stuff to work on as is, you know, like it's all about trying to now be a little bit laser focused. Where would I be laser focused at? Symbiotes. Symbiotes. That's literally all I would like. These 3. Don't worry about these 2. Don't worry about Miles. Don't worry about Spider-Man. Worry about these 3 and predominantly these 2 with Carnage and Symbiote Spider-Man. They're going to help out redonkulously. As a backup, while working on them, work on someone that's not bio, and then obviously, who have we got that's not bio? We've got mutants with X-Force, and that could work out really nicely, right? 2 teams that we could work towards, or keep working on that Sinister Six to get those legendary unlocks. So maybe Symbiotes and Sinister Six at the same time, but if I'm not mistaken, they may be bio. So this is where it gets complicated for your gear, because you're going to start spreading yourselves too thin. You want to work on that bio team and a tech team. You know, a mutant team and a cosmic team. Keep your team staggered so you're not running out of gear on both people. There's nothing more frustrating than working on 2 bio teams at the same time and running out of gear, just colliding 24/7, because none of them make progress. You know, like you'll get 1 character per day that gets 1 bit of gear across. It's just not enough. So work on a bio team, work on a mutant team, work on a cosmic team, work on a tech team, whatever. Just make sure those teams are separated. So yeah, Sinister Six in that way would take a back burner for me. I'd be working on Symbiote Spider-Man and Carnage, and probably these guys here for war offense. But guys and girls at home, what would you be doing at this roster right now? It's in a really good shape, Agzarah. I totally feel your pain, because there's so many things that I want to work on. But now it's time to really laser focus in, and I think those are the ones to do it on. But, guys and girls watching at home, what do you think? Let us know down below. I cannot wait to see your comments on this one. Guys, that is it for me. If you've enjoyed the video, you know what to do. Do me a massive favour. Give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. If you want to see more content from yours truly. Discord links are down below. Live stream links are down below. We stream Marvel Strike Force 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, starting at 12 my time, which is 7 a.m. Eastern. Get yourself in there for that Waking Up with Shanksy. And until next time, boys and girls, be smart, be strong, be safe, and I'll see you on the flip side. Just take it easy, Commanders.